Don't get me started on you talking about AI when you guys really don't even know how far away we are from AI just taking over.
One person being gone breaks the whole team down or the whole organization or department or whatever the case may be, then that's when.
American telecom service provider AT&T has confirmed that threat actors managed to access data belonging to nearly all of its wireless customers as well as customers of mobile virtual network operators using AT&T's wireless network. What the threat actors stole here are effectively call data records, which are a gold mine in intelligence analysis because they can be used to understand who is talking to who and when.
A lot of the times people are saying like, oh, iPhone's the most secure thing. iPhones don't get breached. iPhones don't get hacked. And I feel like this just goes to show that, you still need to be making sure that your mobile device security is in place to keep you protected.
But why do people hate on remote work so much?
I would say some of the hate comes from people who want to live that life that they think people are living who work remote. We know it's glamorized, but I really would say that people think you have more of a flexible schedule. People thinks that means that you can relax more at work. I think it has a lot to do with the misconceptions and the generalizations that we all have the same experience working remote when we don't.
I I just say it like this: it's hate. Like on Joe Budden podcast, when somebody's saying something that somebody like it's hate, they have a quick sense saying that's hate. And
Hmm.
so if you go back through, so guys, for context, 2 podcasts ago, we released an episode where we were talking about how Dell employees fought back against Dell and voted that they want to work remote. And that video did some good numbers. I'm gonna put the thing right here. Now there were so many different comments, mixed comments. Everybody's talking about how the remote workers are stupid. They're going to be replaced. Oh, if you can work remote, they can hire the people in India. And a lot of them were just mad. Some people were just actually mad. When I say like they're mad that they have to go and do their job physically and people can do it from home. But I'm just like, that ain't their problem. Like, you pick the job you want to do. I
I
learned
think
from a young age that I really didn't want to be in the elements working, and I want to do a job that let me be flexible. So I made sure I was able to do that in some type of way. I wouldn't hate on, like, what I'm saying? Like, there are blue collar jobs that get paid a lot, paid more than me. So that'd be like me hating on them. So, oh, you getting a lot of money just because you cleaning windows in a skyscraper. That sounds stupid. That's what they say. Oh, more the people like us got to go to work and we do more than just hitting on the keyboard. I'm like, it's okay, fam. You can still do the job hitting on the keyboard. Just learn how to do it. You don't gotta hate. We didn't tell you to go pick that hard working job. And that's how I feel about everybody. And on the
I
subject
also
of oh, no, go ahead.
I also feel like I'm just looking at my notes. They think that everybody who works remote loves their job, or that's the misconception, or why so many people are just like, oh, I'm only working remote, I'm only looking for remote roles. But everybody that works remote doesn't love their job, they don't have flexibility in their job. And it doesn't mean because you work remote that your life is full of luxuriousness and glamour and ease, most importantly. So I think those are a lot of the misconceptions, especially within the tech industry. um, yeah.
Not only that, all the misconceptions of AI and oh, your job can be outsourced. Let me tell you guys something. If it was so easy to outsource, why every company just don't outsource all the jobs? Hmm? Did y'all ever think of that? You know why they don't do that? Because stuff will not be done right. It's only a small percentage of people that are offshore that are actually good when you actually work with them. A lot of the job that the work they do is trash. And I probably went down the hill. And it's trash because one, hey, of course you could pay them cheaper, but most of them you have to tell them exactly what to do. And they don't do anything outside the box. So they're not bringing a lot of contributions to your organization. Two, what you do have to worry about when you also have people that are offshore, is there are different type of labor laws, and there are these other different things that you have to regulate for, and you also got to hope that they're not stealing your information and getting it to their country. There's a lot of stuff that's going on that you guys don't pay attention to, that you just want to say, oh, they're going to put all the jobs in India or whatever. And don't get me started on you talking about AI when you guys really don't even know how far away we are from AI just taking everything. Sure, it can do simple things, but you got to govern the AI. I posted on LinkedIn not too long ago about OpenAI actually had like probably like a breach. It wasn't probably like big or anything. However, when people are using these large language models and we're getting AI from everywhere else, you're going to have a whole new subset of security type of jobs or data privacy that's going to govern if AI is spitting out what's supposed to. So, needless to say, AI is like not that advanced yet that's going to just wipe everybody's jobs away. So, y'all people that's saying that just because you're mad, you got to go do your job. You still got time to get you a remote job. And while Destiny was talking, I thought about this. Like you said, thinking people, everybody's happy. Some people actually probably would want to come into the work office, but they probably have to move too far away to where it's like, I don't want to.
Yeah. And back to circle back to what you were saying about the AI and the outsourcing piece, like I feel like it's overrated and we're giving too much credit to AI and not enough credit to, like you said, laws, regulations, ethics, or even the value of real life human interaction, thoughts, which are still valuable to companies and business. So yeah, some things will be outsourced in a way, but I feel like as AI has risen, we've kind of seen it in the same way that we used to see like flying cars. Like we thought cars were going to be flying by whatever year, and look at what's occurring now. They're not flying. They're moving. We're moving to a more electric vehicle model. So, just like we see with that scenario, I kind of feel the same kind of way AI, but in a different context. It's overrated that we're giving AI so much credit when it comes to outsourcing and all these jobs that are going to be lost and things of that sort.
And while you were talking, I looked something up because I want to actually give a visual representation of some stuff. Let me see if I can present this, because everyone is talking about how um, people we should want to go into office and promotion and stuff like this. But let me show you why what happened in 2020, just briefly in a nutshell, of why people decided, hey, I'm gonna move somewhere on the outskirts of town that's cheaper, and I'll be able to raise my family and still do my job. So y'all see this thing says home prices in US are up 47% since the start of 2020. And I want to see if it's gonna give us like some good prices. Let me zoom in some more. Yeah, the current housing boom that has even outpaced the growth seen in the 1990s and 2010s, which saw a 30.1% and 44.7%. Additionally, home prices this decade are reported to be on track to surpass the growth seen in the 2000s, along with possibly surpassing the number seen in 2007 before the housing market collapsed. The National Association of Realtors reported that home prices continue to rise in the first quarter of 2024, with median prices rising 5% year over year to $389,400. Okay, dang it. I thought they had more for us. I'm going to stop sharing. Now, it's a platform that a guy that I follow, and I think he was on like CNBC or something like that. But we'll probably react to one of his TikToks one day because he is always pretty much breaking down the myths that the boomers and Gen Xers have against millennials and Gen Z about working hard and trying to get a job. And he was showing like, hey, the average price in America is like 400 some $1,000. And now you got to have a salary of like $120,000 to even qualify for some of these homes. And that's what's happened over the last 4 years, is because of the housing shortage. So supply and demand. So when everybody is talking about like going to the office in there, like people are trying to stay places where they can afford and not have this. And we're going to get to the next subject after this. If y'all want people to come to the office, pay them enough to stay by the office. Pay them enough to have a really big house or a modest house close to the office in proximity, and they probably come in the office. So whatever you're paying them, double it, and they'll probably be there. And that's kind of what I got to say on that one. You got anything to add?
I think that they're not gonna pay him, and I think that they should just chill and relax. A lot of people, even just throughout time, have not stayed in necessarily in the city that they work in. I even know if I think back to just even like high school, none of the teachers stayed in the city. They were all from neighboring cities. They were all commuters. So, I mean, that's just what it's been. But things have changed. Prices have hiked up. So, inflation is real.
Welcome back to the TechTual Talk podcast. I'm your host, HD, and we got our co-host here today.
Cyber shorty.
All right. And we are back with another episode of tech, business, pop culture, whatever you want to call it. We cover everything that could be relative to the show and things that's been happening, whether it's been on YouTube, Blind, TikTok, LinkedIn. It's been a lot. So we got some good topics today for you guys, and I hope you really want to rock with us. But if you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon, and if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, follow us and leave a comment. It really helps us out. But let's get back into the episode. Now, this is technically so that's last week. So I didn't watch Divorce in it. No, I'm lying. I haven't finished Divorce in the
Same.
Black.
Same. I have like 20 minutes left. I've been watching it. Yep.
I, I've seen the beginning and I've seen like some of the end, but not the middle. So I don't know what you've seen, but I do know it's kind of I don't know. I think for us we've seen so many movies we feel like they're the same but different. But I think other people who haven't seen a lot of his work will like it more because they don't know what to look for. And I saw an interesting TikTok of this black lady. She was saying, "Man, I used to think Tyler hated black women, but then I realized he only just making the stuff that he see on the For You pages. He said these stories is stuff that all the women are be talking about on the For You page on TikTok." And she broke it down some more. I was like, pretty much you do see like this type of stuff, even though there'd be like extreme scenarios in the movie, because of course it got to be entertaining. But how even like how the movie starts off and what I seen about that her dad, I was like, yeah, he deserved it.
I feel like Tyler is trying to get more raunchy. Like his raunchiest character is Uncle Joe, right? And so I feel like as of lately, he's been tapping more into his raunchy side, and I feel like that was with like Mia Culpa, and definitely this movie. I feel like the cussing is more slightly more believable, but it's not spot on as to like a real life scenario throughout the movie. Um, the acting, I wasn't in love with the acting. I wasn't in love with the acting. There were moments where I was like, okay, okay, I'm vibing with this moment. And then there were other moments where I was just like, eh. But I will say Tyler do got a little game though, because he always throw a little player, little talk, little lingo that one of the male characters says to one of the females. I can't remember what it was in Mia Culpa, but in this movie, the guy that she was friends with, I guess that she had knew since high school or whatever, um, he had said something like, "I want to go get in your bed with you," or something like that. It was like the context in which he said it. I was like, "Okay, Tyler," but I don't know. It's better than Medea goes here, Medea this. You know, I love Medea. Don't get me wrong, but I like that he's creating more storylines. It's worth the watch. It's not the best that I've seen from him, but it's definitely still worth the watch.
I think Dante did his thing in the movie.
Mm, the accent wasn't accenting for me. Wherever he was trying to act like he was from,
Where they
it
supposed to be
wasn't.
from?
I don't even remember, but it
Outside of
wasn't
Atlanta or
good.
something, right?
Even worse if it was Atlanta.
No, I think they're supposed to be out like they're supposed to be from some like rural city outside of Atlanta, from what I gathered.
It's not believable for me.
They don't really, to me, Atlanta people outside of like lingo of saying like certain words, to me, they don't really have an accent.
Yeah. It
So
he was trying to have a little twang to his words and I wasn't feeling it. But he wasn't cringe. He wasn't cringing me the whole time because he had some good moments in there where I was like, "Oh, okay. He owned that with her. He ain't playing. Okay." But
yeah,
again, I give
I
it
think
what rating would you give it? I would give this like because you haven't finished.
yeah, I've only seen the end and the beginning. Like for
I would
me, I don't know, like even the funeral scene was hard for me to kind of get through because I was like, this is not believable.
That's what I'm saying. What I mean, like he's gotten more raunchy. Like we wouldn't have ever. We would expect Tyler to have a woman cuss a man out, maybe a man disrespect a woman, but the whole funeral scene was a lot. I was I was like, this is a lot. Did you make the connection that that's the lady from The Wiz? I seen a meme somewhere on some social media site, but the mom is the evil witch in The Wiz.
Which mom? You talking about the mom of the Bertrands?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I watched The Wiz. I've seen The Wiz. I haven't watched it. So it's like I watched it a couple of times. But I mean, to my credit, I don't really care for the Wizard of Oz either. So I mean, hey,
No, it's not. It's not. No, it's not a comparison of this of those sorts. You got to check it out.
no, I've seen it, but I'm saying I haven't. You know how a lot of movies I've watched like indefinitely. Like
Multiple times.
it's like when
Yeah,
I've seen it, when I saw it, I was younger. I didn't really care for it that much. As I'm older, I probably would like it, but then I still probably like, they was really letting them get this off.
I
That's how I
like the
do a lot of these
second
shows.
half of it.
But yeah, I'm like, if you're gonna say all this about known killers, like why not have like police actually in your um church?
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. That's why I don't find it believable. On top of that, still, your daughter's husband. So there has to be a level of, hey, you can say stuff without like just point blank, like shaming a man. Like you already knew, hey, y'all talking about they've been like that for years. Well, hey, y'all didn't step in and help with no male presence. That's how I feel about stuff like that when it's a small town. Y'all talking about the boys, but what did y'all actually try to do?
it was so ghetto the way he was talking about him at that funeral. Like it was extremely cringy. I couldn't even believe it. I was
Yeah,
like,
that's
is
why I was like,
somebody?
I was
I
trying
was like, is
hard to get
somebody
through that
dreaming?
scene, but I just like this don't even make like. But I'm not gonna lie, and we gonna get off of this soon. But stuff like that do be happening.
I felt the mom though. Oh, y'all thought y'all was finna help? Oh, okay. We don't need y'all help. I felt her, especially how he played her child in his casket in the church. I absolutely felt her. It was just that was a lot.
And the fact he know that his daughter's with people with crazy family, and he put her. See, this
He
the
did.
thing.
He
He
did.
put her in the position of that because knowing they gonna blame her, thinking that well, you knew this was gonna happen when that's not the case,
Mhm.
and so he should have known better. And Tasha mama, she should have got slapped down too.
Her mama was. You know what's crazy is he put her in there, and something about that movie gave me what's the movie called with Journey just Journey Smollett, Eve's something about
Obsession
that.
or whatever.
No, Eve's Bayou. Something about that movie gave me Eve's
It
Bayou. I
did.
can't
It's the
like
background of it because
yeah,
they was like in the rural, like I think Louisiana too, and East
yeah,
Bayou.
yeah.
I agree. I agree. Um, so let me let you get into, I guess, one of your articles.
All right, so let me get one pulled up. 1 second. Okay, so I want to talk first about the Apple situation that is currently going on. Share my screen. Okay. So, Apple warns iPhone users in 98 countries of spyware attacks. So, Apple has issued a new round of threat notifications to iPhone users across 98 countries, warning them of potential mercenary spyware attacks. It's the second such alert campaign from the company this year, following a similar notification sent to users in April. So Apple, the notifications were sent out Wednesday, and they did not disclose the attackers' identities or the countries where users received notifications. Apple detected that you are being targeted by a mercenary spyware attack that is trying to remotely compromise the iPhone associated with your Apple ID. And then I believe it provides the Apple ID. And so that's basically the warning that any affected customers will receive. It says this attack is likely targeting you specifically because of who you are or what you do. Although it's never possible to achieve absolute certainty when detecting such attacks, Apple has high confidence in this warning. Please take it seriously. So it was sent out to users in India, and it looks like in October there were some similar warnings sent to some journalists and politicians also in that country. So I think I just really wanted to highlight this, and that's really just kind of the end of it. But I just wanted to highlight that because I felt like a lot of the times people are saying like, "Oh, iPhone's the most secure thing. iPhones don't get breached. iPhones don't get hacked." And I feel like this just goes to show that you still need to be making sure that your mobile device security is in place to keep you protected. I think it's interesting that they said, what's the warning again? This attack is likely targeting you specifically because of who you are, what you do. That is so open ended. Like, what does that mean? Because I work at a company that's putting me at risk, or
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
what does that mean? And
It's
they
just
won't say that explicitly. So I just feel like that's a little sketchy, a little bit.
yeah, that's exactly what it means. I mean, I've been telling people for years, and I think when I first made the channel 4 years ago, I did like cybersecurity awareness content, and I was talking about how this is for the people who thinks Macs can get viruses and stuff like that. And I was like, I see it all the time. Like you can get it.
Definitely.
It's just easier to control because most of the time the updates are coming out at the same time. It's not like all these different variants of Mac OS out. So no,
Oh, I
you
got one
you
more
are
thing.
yeah. Go ahead.
I forgot to say what a mercenary spyware attack is, for those you don't know. So it's basically like it's when someone hires someone smarter, maybe a company, a government, or even some other criminal to break into basically the systems and install spyware on another company. And so once that spyware is installed, they're obviously monitoring what's going on. And then they're basically just reporting back to the person that paid them, hey, this is what I found. So that is essentially what was allegedly going on with the iPhone users who were receiving those notifications, to break that down a little bit. So, again, to reiterate, a third party hires a bad actor to perform on their behalf against whoever the target is. And then that third party comes back and reports to the person that hired them and says, "Hey, this is what I found."
Let me see which one I wanted to go into. I think this is actually pretty a good topic, and I got to find a screenshot to talk about this because I posted it on my story. But this topic is: should you use your personal funds to pay for company travel and get reimbursed, or should you use the company credit card? I don't know what Buddy was talking about in this situation because I'm like, everybody knows if you use the company credit card, they let you like input your rewards information and get rewarded for the travel. So we didn't know what he was saying, but here we go. He says, pay for that company trip yourself. If your company gives you the option to pay for your own company related travel and be reimbursed, do it. Most of us get excited when we get flown out and tell the whole world about how our company sent us to Los Angeles for business and paying for everything. This excitement is valid because it's a big occasion for a newbie, but what a vet would tell you is go ahead and open up your rewards account with Marriott, Hilton, and Choice Hotels. Most hotel points don't expire unless you are inactive for a period. Do the same with airlines and rental cars. My preferred credit card is Amex and the Delta SkyMiles Reserve card. And the only card I use even when flying with another airline. Pay for your trip, scan your receipts each night or morning, and keep them in the bag in case your company needs them for your reimbursement. Use those points and rewards for your family or sell them. Marriott allows to transfer once a year. You can transfer SkyMiles at will. I understand everyone will not agree or understand why. However, that is why you should start learning the benefits early and develop the ability to control this aspect of your career. No different than saving versus investing. Only investing has a limited potential for gains. I felt like this whole thing was stupid.
I think no, I think you should follow what's in your corporate policy in terms of how you should be paying for corporate travel, because that'd be a dumb reason to get fired, because they will fire you over something like that. And in most companies I know, you can input, that information and your rewards information. So you are still receiving, the perks. You're still getting the points, whether it's hotel, rental, airline, whatever it may be. You're still able to like input all that information again. So you're able to receive, what you would normally receive if you actually paid for it. So follow what's in your corporate policy. That's my advice and my thoughts on it.
Yeah, I'm just like it. The reimbursement really just doesn't make any sense. Like, only way it would make sense for me is if he said if you have your own business, use your own business card to pay for all this stuff and get the points, and then get reimbursed that way. But as your own personal money, no. Like when I go on trips, I'm typically using a company card, and then for if I know, hey, they want me to only spend $100 or something on dinner or something, and then anything outside of that, I am using my funds. I know last time when I went to Vegas, the stuff was higher because I was in Vegas. So whenever they asked me something, say, hey, I was in a conference for Vegas, and this is like why food was high, whatever. I was trying to at least for breakfast every day, breakfast and probably like dinner, I ate really good. But I was like not on my own dime. Like other stuff we did on our own dime was like what did we do? We went to Tao for like the beach party or something. We went to that's why I got to go back and see Eddie Griffin. That's Eddie Griffin, a funny dude. And we did karaoke. We did karaoke inside of so where our
We did karaoke too when we went.
where y'all did it at?
Don't even ask me a question like that. We were in Vegas. I don't even remember.
We did it at
It
this
was like
spot.
inside though, like a little room. Like it was like a little lounge to yourself though.
That's I mean ours is like a kind of like a karaoke slash section kind of in a sense, like it's a
Yeah.
room with
Yeah.
TV
Yep.
and they got the tables. I want to say the same spot like we so um the conference was at the Venetian,
I'm finna
but it's
see if I
also
can
connected to
find
the
it.
Palazzo. So those two hotels. And so I remember I just scoped the spot for y'all that have never been to Vegas. Vegas is like outside of the casinos, like most every hotel has a mall connected to it and they got
It's
different things.
it's called Camu.
I think that's where we went.
KAMU. Yep.
Let me see. Is this how it look? Look, y'all, we're having fun right here. Let me see if this is how it look. Let me go to the videos. They look like this on the inside.
Wait. Yes, exactly like that. Yes.
Yeah.
It was a time too. I would definitely do that again. Absolutely.
You know the first song the ladies wanted to sing? Pound Town.
We
Yeah,
had
yeah.
fun. I don't remember a lot of it, but it was a time we had.
Yeah. I think that was the last night because like we left the spunk through like a really big party. DJ Jazzy's Jeff was there on the ones and twos and they had drinks and stuff. And
Was he
yeah,
good? I mean, I'm sure he's a good DJ, but
he was cool, but I wasn't there that long. I was doing something else and then I came and we left there. Yeah, it was a good time, I must say. Now let's get into because all the stuff I kind of some of the stuff that I put in here kind of goes with one another. But let me cover this AT&T breach real quick. Wah, wah, wah.
literally.
So if you guys don't know, we covered AT&T's breach about 2 months ago. And at first they said something happened where they got some information from a third party. And I need to listen to Darknet Diaries because I'm trying to see if they're going to draw the parallel. Is from 2 months ago, was that actually Snowflake? And we found out about Snowflakes recently, like a couple of weeks ago. All right. AT&T confirms data breach affecting nearly all wireless customers. American telecom service provider AT&T has confirmed that threat actors managed to access data belonging to nearly all of its wireless customers as well as customers of mobile virtual network operators using AT&T's wireless network. Threat actors unlawfully accessed an AT&T workspace on a third-party cloud platform, and between April 14th and April 25th, 2024, exfiltrated files containing AT&T records of customer call and text interactions that occurred approximately between May 1st and October 31st, 2022, as well as January 2nd, 2023, it said. There's a lot going on. This compromise telephone numbers, which in AT&T or MVNO wireless number interacted, including telephone numbers of AT&T landline customers and customers of other carriers, cancel those interactions, and aggregate call durations for a day or month. A subset of these records also contain one or more cell site identification numbers, potentially allowing the threat actors to triangulate the approximate location of a customer when a call was made or a text message was sent. AT&T said it will alert current and former customers if the information was involved. The threat actors have used data from previous compromises to map phone numbers to identities, Jake Williams, former NSA hacker and faculty at IANS research said. What the threat actors stole here are effectively call data records, which are a gold mine in intelligence analysis because they can be used to understand who is talking to who and when. All right, so here's a list of the AT&T MVNOs, Black Wireless, Boost Infinite, Consumer Cellular. It's a lot of different small carriers. Okay, so here's the fun stuff. The name of the third-party cloud provider was not disclosed by AT&T, but Snowflake has since confirmed that the breach was connected to the hack. That's impacted other customers such as Ticketmaster, Santander, Neiman Marcus, and LendingTree, according to Bloomberg. The company said it became aware of the incident on April 19th, 2024, and immediately activated its response efforts. It further noted that it's working with law enforcement in their efforts to arrest those involved, and that at least one person has been apprehended. 404 Media reported that a 24-year-old U.S. citizen named John Benz, who was previously arrested in Turkey in May 2024, is connected to the security event, citing 3 unnamed sources. He was also indicted in the U.S. for infiltrating T-Mobile.
Bye.
Criminals
Interim.
always they can't they cannot leave good enough. What's it called? Well enough alone or good enough alone? I don't know what the saying is, but they can't do it. In 2021, and selling this customer data. You know what's funny about this part right here? Do you remember last week when we were talking about T-Mobile and one people come in 4 days in the office, and I was talking
Yep.
about them getting breached?
Yep.
There it is right there. I might send that to the recruiter. However, it's emphasized that the access information does not include the content of calls or texts, personal information such as social security numbers, dates of birth, or other personal identifiable information. While the data does not include customer names, there are often ways using publicly available online tools to find the names associated with a specific telephone number. It's also urging users to be on the lookout for phishing, smishing, and online fraud by opening text messages from trusted senders. On top of that, customers can submit a request to get the phone numbers of their calls and texts in the illegally downloaded data. The malicious cyber campaign targeting Snowflake has landed as many as 165 customers in the crosshairs with Google-owned Mandiant, attributing the activity to a financially motivated threat actor dubbed UNC 5537. And guys, I'm gonna interject right here. If you want to learn more about this, like so Mandiant, CrowdStrike, and other companies, they have their own way of tracking these threat actors. So this is most of the time how Mandiant does theirs. You can type this in and you'll see Mandiant's full report, and I may share it in a second. Matter of fact, let me go to it real quick. No, I'm gonna stay right here. It'll just make it easier on me for editing. But if you type this in, it'll actually show you what the threat actor does and how they infiltrate and how they actually get all this data. And this will be another good way you can understand attacks and just study things like this when it comes to you have an upcoming interview. All right. The threat actor dubbed UNC 5537 that encompasses members based in North America and collaborates with an additional member in Turkey. The criminals have demanded payments of between $300,000 and $5 million in return for the stolen data. The latest development shows that the fallout from cybercrime spree is expanding in scope and has a cascading effect. All right, so we're going to stop there, and actually, let me do this real quick, briefly show you guys. This is UNC 5537. And so they got a really good write-up on this, came out in June. And I'm not going to go through all this, but I'm going to show you the cool stuff they got, like their tech diagrams. People get paid. The fun thing is people get paid to make these. I think it's pretty cool. I think this would probably be what security researchers do. Just wanted to show that. And while we are talking here, let me tell you about today's video sponsor, Aura. I'm just going to plug in Aura again. I always plug in Aura every time. I'm plugging in Aura every time we see something that's happening. Just because they're telling you guys to actually just be a little bit more vigilant in smishing and phishing. And I can tell you guys, Smishing in them, those are the good ones. And what these people will do, they may sell this information to somebody else, another type of third actor or something, and they're not going to be really sophisticated with their approach. If they find out you're somebody who's interested, might have a job, like you're talking about earlier, so this ties into your mercenary thing earlier. If they do their research and figure out you work at somewhere, you're like leadership or something, or you are the the partner of somebody in like leadership or have some type of job that may be connected to some money, they'll try to send you a smishing message based on wherever somebody works at. And if you do click the link, the issue that you may run into is that you'll click the link off of the company's network and possibly compromise right there. So you just don't want to click on anything. If you're not sure, send it to your security team. They'll take a look at it, maybe give threat intel, see what's going on if it's an attack on the company, and kind of go from there. So do your due diligence. You don't want to be asked out, as they like to say. So do that. But if you want to take care of your information online, if you want your financial transactions to be looked at in case you see something you don't recognize, you want a VPN, a password vault. If you just want a company that's working 24/7 to make sure data brokers do not have your data, look into Aura. I still use it. I think Destiny's still using it. It's always
Absolutely.
notifying us if our information is on the dark web, and it's for a great price. But if you use the link in the description, you can get a free 14-day trial to make sure data brokers do not have your data. So check out Aura.
I
But
will say
what you say?
with two things. Oh gosh, I just had a brain fart. One of them was I wanted to highlight what they put in their 8K. And I'll do that because I forgot what the other thing was. Okay, so the 8K filing is basically what they are legally obligated to do now by the Security and Exchange Commissions.
Mhm.
So this is what they wrote, AT&T. On April 19, 2024, AT&T learned that a threat actor claimed to have unlawfully accessed and copied AT&T call logs. AT&T immediately activated its incident response process to investigate and retained external cybersecurity experts to assist. Based on its investigation, AT&T believes that threat actors unlawfully accessed an AT&T workspace on a third-party cloud platform, which was Snowflake, between April 14th and April 25th, exfiltrating files containing AT&T records of customer call and text interactions that occurred approximately between May 1st and October 31st, 2022, and January 2nd, 2023. The data does not contain the contents of call or text, personal information, blah, blah, blah. Current analysis indicates that the data includes period for these times of records, calls, and texts of nearly all of AT&T's wireless customers and customers of mobile virtual network operators. So they said that they've taken additional security measures in response to this incident. On May 9th and again on June 5th, the Department of Justice determined that a Form 8K delay in providing public disclosure was warranted. AT&T is now timely filing this report. That's them covering their tails for their customers, basically saying, yes, it happened a while ago, but we had to do our investigation before we told y'all. And the Department of Justice told us we could do this. That's basically what they're saying. They said that they're working with law enforcement in its efforts to arrest those involved based on the information available. They understand at least one person has been apprehended. They don't believe that the data has been published publicly, so they don't believe that it's publicly available. Sick of them. Sick of AT&T. Real sick of them. They got to do better, for real. They got to do better. This was not the first incident that happened this
Yep.
year or even last year.
Yeah,
And I've
but I
been an
think
AT&T ride or die. They breaking
yeah,
my heart.
it's on them a lot, but then it's like on Snowflake. Like, how do people get like? I haven't even looked more into Snowflake yet, and I gotta look more into that. So it's into them, but they also have to do these frequently, I guess, like risk assessments and everything else with
Yeah.
these third parties that have all their data. And if you figure out that something they're doing on their end that's not gonna keep you guys safe, you're only strongest as your weakest link. And Snowflake was the weak link for hundreds of companies.
And even the
I
fact
know
that Snowflake was gaslighting their customers after it happened, they were like, nah, that's on y'all.
that's
No,
what
it
a lot
was
of
on
people do.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. I know like Like Neiman Marcus found out like 35, no, with 31 million email addresses got leaked. You know what I'm saying? 31 mil. Crazy. It was like, dang, I'm just over. I don't know what's that 50 cent mean. I want to see if I can find it. What you talking about me for?
I think what I was gonna say was that they keep saying nearly all. So if you have AT&T and you're listening to this, nearly all, meaning you too. What I was gonna say is, remember when I texted you the other day, we were talking about this, and I said, it's not if your data will be compromised, but when. Just like we say that in the cybersecurity industry about companies, it's not if you'll be breached, but when. And that's why you just have to make sure that you have your protection in place so that if something is exposed that's your personal data, that at least you can be notified promptly about it so you can put in some security measures, maybe locking your credit, for example, being more mindful of your bank transactions, getting a new debit card, sometimes getting a new account if needed. But yeah, insane in the membrane.
Man, I cannot find it, man. But it's like a I might try to do it after what you call it. But 50 Cent was like, what you mentioning me for? Like something like that.
The computer say, Floyd said, fuck T.I., fuck Nelly, fuck 50. I'm like, what did he say fuck me for?
And I think that's how Neiman Marcus is like, bro, why I get into it? I thought I was doing good business.
Yep.
And let me see, did I open it up? Here we go. So y'all know the last episode we talked about CDK Global and how they pretty much cost everybody millions of dollars. So I want to briefly touch on that. It's alleged that they paid 25 million for the ransom
They paid that.
in crypto. So it looks like CDK paid a $25 million ransom in crypto to end this outage. CDK Global has apparently paid up in order to end the ransomware attack, which recently crippled its operations and brought a large part of North American car dealerships business to a screeching halt. And I put that snippet out, and a lot of, well, not a lot, but some people who worked in car dealerships was like talking about that and other things going on in the industry, and they said like how it's kind of crazy. I was like, yep, just keep watching. Citing multiple anonymous sources familiar with the matter, CNN claims CDK has paid attackers 25 million in cryptocurrency to unlock its systems. It reports this the company has not confirmed paying a ransomware demand, but multiple anonymous sources closely tracking the incident have said this was the case. No coincidences. Furthermore, two major things happened in the aftermath of the attack which could be tied together. First, the payment was made in cryptocurrency and all transactions done over the blockchain can be tracked. We know what blockchain is. Stop putting all that crap on there for me to try to read. Can be tracked. Surely enough, they are pseudo-anonymous.
Pseudo.
No coincidences. Furthermore, two major things happened in the aftermath of the attack, which could be tied together. First, the payment was made in cryptocurrency and all transactions done over the blockchain can be tracked. Surely enough, they are pseudonymous. That's not pseudonymous. Pseudo, pseudo. What is it? Pseudonymous.
Pseudo. Pseudonymous. Is that
It is, but it's not because it's like pseudo. Then you got numus at the end. Is it pseudonymous?
pseudonym? I have a little speech thing going on here, so don't get me the line. P's and S's is not my friends.
I already know it making the word pseudo like pseudo. If it was nothing else, it'd be pseudo. But then you got
Pseudonym.
numus. So pseudonymous, pseudonymous.
I'm about to
Hey,
look.
tell me in the comments if I said it right. Pseudonymous. But nevertheless, someone sent 387 Bitcoin, roughly 25 million, on June 21st to a cryptocurrency account identified to belong to affiliates of Black Suit, a known ransomware operation. The address from which the money was sent belongs to a company that helps victims respond to ransomware attacks, the sources further said without naming the firm. Secondly, CDK Global started bringing its systems back online roughly a week after that payment was made. CDK is a company that provides software as a service for car dealerships, suffered a major cybersecurity attack in late June 2024, which forced it to shut down most of its systems. As a result, companies using CDK service were unable to conduct most of their business and were pushed back to pen and paper for whatever little work they could do. Law enforcement agencies around the world do not encourage victims paying ransomware. Okay, so we already know all that fun stuff. But
25 mil. They got in
yeah,
that bag. They paid that bag to get that business back operating.
yeah,
I'm just curious for anyone in the comments on what life is like. How how can you trust that they not gonna come back or that they haven't established a back door or whatever the case may be? That's just my only concern. Like, I'm happy that they were able to get business back up and running, but just paying the ransom just kind of makes me feel uneasy because they could come back. Or what if they just re-encrypt your stuff? Like, I don't, it's just too risky. I want to know what life is like on that back end side after you have recovered from the attack and you're starting to resume normal business operations. Like, are they going to switch platforms? What's going to happen? What's going to happen so drastically to make them and their customers and business partners and stakeholders feel confident that that's not going to happen again? That's, sorry, just a thought on my head. I had to get out. I'm not understanding. It's really crazy. I don't know. It's just a thought that won't go away. It's just like always having to look over your shoulder. That's how I would feel if I was the CISO. I wouldn't. I don't know. I'm not the CISO though, but if I were, I would definitely. That would be something on my mind. Like, how do we know that they're out for good, guys? But yeah, something to think about.
right. So, what I want you to get into real quick was your work from home, staying healthy and fit talking point that you want to
Yes.
touch on.
So I think it's important. Like, what did we talk about last time? Being more intentional about, like creating a routine, to start your day or throughout your day, something that you can hold yourself to. Getting up, eating breakfast, making sure you're intentional about eating lunch, and getting dressed for work. Um, I also wanted to just highlight the importance of staying fit while working remotely. um, well, one, you already aren't receiving that physical interaction with humans. Whether you were in an office that was full of good morning, good morning, good mornings, or you were in an office where you guys were used to giving each other, physical touch, like hugs and, taps and things of that sort, fist bumps when somebody's doing good. So working remote, you don't really necessarily get that, especially if you live alone, you don't live with your family or a significant other. If you don't have any pets, you do want to be mindful about your mental health, and one way to do that is to make sure you're staying fit and also eating healthy. So myself, I have been on a pescatarian journey this year. So it's July. It's been 7 months. For me, it's been really good. I've been able to see myself, shed a lot of weight in a short amount of time. I do also work out. I try to be intentional about going 3 times a week, and I'm a 6 a.m. workout girly. In the summer too,
She's
I
a
like to
Pilates
take
princess,
walks.
y'all.
I like to I do love my Pilates classes though, but I like to do something to be intentional. It makes my day feel better. It makes me have a more productive day. I'm by the time I come home from the workout, I'm woke. Even if I'm not awoke or wake when I get there, by the time I'm leaving, I'm up and ready to get my day started. So I think even just starting small things, start small. Start with a 5-10 minute workout, especially if you haven't worked out in a while. Don't try to necessarily push yourself to commit to, I'm gonna go to the gym for an hour every day. That's a big commitment for someone who is just trying to start to change some of their habits. So I would say start small. Go for a walk. Even if you don't necessarily feel like going outside, walk around in your unit if you can, or around your little neighborhood if you want to be outside. There's a ton of things that you can do. If you have a sit stand desk, make sure that you're not sitting down all day. Stand up. I know a lot of people bought the treadmills that they're putting underneath their desk, and they've been utilizing those between calls and meetings. And things like that. Some people are on bikes. There's a ton that you can do. They got the little stair stepper things on Amazon that you can buy or TikTok that you can buy. There's so many things that you can do to just be a more healthier version of you while you work remotely. And I challenge you to start and see how you feel, throughout the next month, 60, 90 days, and see if that's something that you want to implement into your routine moving forward. But that's my take on staying fit. And of course, lining that up with eating healthy. You will see the benefits of your hard labor if you do start to hit the gym more consistently and heavily, if you do change your diet as well. So I'm not saying be a pescatarian, but just choose more healthier options when available.
Yeah, definitely. So I'll add into that, like for people that eat that do work home and you're eating good, if you want to avoid the itis, what you can do is after you eat, go if you got stairs in your building, go up the stairs a couple of times and you won't go to sleep. Also, for my people, let's say for especially if you do heavy weights, I don't go heavy days. Like most of my reps are between 10 and 12. So I don't really go heavy because I don't really ever have a spotter. What you could do if you have time in your workout, just walk 2 miles on the incline. It's like 35, 45 minutes. You'll notice like pretty soon, like you'll be like losing weight and you won't be super hungry after it. That's like the difference between like running and walking. It's doing about the same amount of things, except you're using more energy when you run. And that's why like your appetite is up after you have ran a lot and you got to go eat something or put that protein in you. And that's pretty much what it is. So, and if you can't do 2 miles, do 1 mile. Like I do, like I don't have a lot of time. I'll just do me 1 mile. What are they in there talking about? It's like they're in there arguing about toys. But yeah, just try to get it in where you can. Let's see.
I am not a treadmill girly. I'd rather walk outside for 5 miles than walk on the treadmill for even half a mile. But I'll do the stair stepper. I'm not a
See,
bike girly either.
I don't really mind walking on a treadmill. I hate really jogging on treadmill. Shin splints.
Oh,
Um,
I get those bad. Even walking. If I try to do a little speed walk, please. Them shins be tore down.
I'm a destination guy. So when I run, I like to pick like when I stay in Frisco. This is like before COVID and like when COVID happened. I used to stay on Lebanon, and then sometimes I say, okay, today I'm gonna go try to run. I'm gonna go run the Warren, and then sometimes, occasionally, I ran in Gaylord. And the people who know, they know where these places are, and so I could visualize. Okay, I know I'm gonna go down there. Cool. But when I'm on the treadmill, I'm just doing the same thing over and over again. In my mind, it's in my body like this ain't it. This ain't it. We need to go somewhere because I could push through if I know I'm going to a destination. I can kind of
Did
like I can keep it up on a treadmill, but it's not the same.
Did you see the DFW Run Club group?
I saw Kendra's in it, I think,
Yeah, they be doing a big one. I'm not ready yet. Maybe.
and they didn't turn that thing into like where you can find your boo at. It's like
Yeah.
nothing is safe for finding a boo. That's what they did turn it into. I seen the play a mile away.
So if you do work out, put in the comments what you like to do to get your day started or to end your night, or if you a lunch break workout type of person, let us know what you do.
Right. Okay. Now let's get into the fun stuff, everybody. Y'all like
Tick
when we do these
tock.
TikToks, so we are ready. All right. Let's see. Can you hear this?
Most vile thing I've ever seen. Today, Intuit announced that they were laying off 1,800 workers, but the CEO decided to take a bold new move and instead of using the common restructuring and focusing on needs, labeled almost 1,100 of them as underperformers. He just marked every single one of those employees that's going to be impacted as a potential risk. I'm all for companies making decisions as it relates to employees not performing up to standards, but that should be private between the company and the person. It shouldn't be announced publicly. And especially because underperforming is just so subjective. It could be someone who's just not pulling their weight and kind of just dicking around, or it could mean someone is going through a really bad breakup. It could mean one person has a really crappy manager. It could mean that one person pushed a little bit too hard about why it was that they were getting paid less than the new hire. Or maybe they just weren't that person's favorite. But now every Intuit employee who goes through interviews, that's what's going to be on the hiring manager's mind. That CEO should be asked to step down immediately. Because needing to do an 1,800 person layoff because 60% of your workforce is not performing is actually him underperforming.
So I definitely heard a lot about that. I think they did the layoffs and then they hired some other people. And guys, this is we didn't we read the article of the person that worked in HR for Amazon how they was forcing people to do PIP so they can lay them off.
Yep, we did.
This is what that is. So these people are, hopefully they know, hey, I was not underperforming. They laid us off due to restructuring of the company. If you worked into it, just tell them that. Don't tell them you was underperforming. Tell them, hey, it's restructuring of the company, and that's why I got laid off. Don't tell them that you was underperforming, because I'm pretty sure you wouldn't. Ain't no way possible that many people were underperforming at once and y'all got let go. I'm
The
just sorry.
I think it was just a hater move. Like if I've never seen one, that was just a hating move. It was a low ball, a low blow type of move for them to make. And then if you even think about a lot of the times people don't want to leave companies, older people, they don't want to do that. They don't want to interview for another new roles. They will if they have to, but if they can find another role within the company, a lot of people would prefer to do that. And with that hating move that they just pulled, anybody that's trying to come back into the company now has that on their record. And if you think about the manager that's hiring, why would I want to hire you? And I see that you don't have a good rating or review, behind you. That was lame. It was lame. Lame, lame, lame. Lame loser, lame loser, lame loser.
I think this is the one you wanted. So
Yes.
let's see
It's
what he
quick
had to
too.
say.
It's interesting that a lazy coworker can continue to be lazy and no one says anything, but a hardworking employee might take one day off and everybody loses their mind.
Been there, done that. Been there, done
Nah,
that.
he right, because I know back in the day. Matter of fact, I want to say when Zelly was born, I was on paternity leave or whatever, and this is when Dave was working at Opta, and he was like, "Yo, yeah, I definitely can tell you're not here, bro," because at that time that was pretty much my team, and I knew where everything was and made stuff happen like LeBron does, and I probably still can find that messages in our thing because I don't really delete text threads or whatever. And yeah, you definitely know when they not there. It's like they start calling you and everything like Final Fire say no. And this is one of the things too. It's like sometimes you're rewarded when you do good, but then a lot of times it's not. And like you get people that could just be mediocre for their whole career and like nothing's happening to them. But because they expect more out of you, if you mess up, it's the end of the world.
Yep.
I've
I feel like
experienced
I've experienced that too. I haven't experienced that in tech, but I have experienced that with employers in other jobs, more so like customer service focused. But I think that it's lame and it reflects on leadership that y'all aren't running a tight ship. If one person being gone breaks the whole team down or the whole organization or department or whatever the case may be, then that's lame. I would even say even if 3 to 5 people, if you can't miss 3 to 5 people, and if that's a big hit to you, 3 to 5 people is not a lot of people, but if 3 to 5 people are the backbone to business flowing as it should be in the company for whatever section or segment that may be, then that's a larger problem. Because don't let all of them get mad. Don't let one other company get a hold of all of them. Don't let them be a good enough employer to where they say, "Yeah, do you have any other room for these other people that I know that's gonna come in and put in the work?"
nah, that's facts. Let's go to this one. I think is pretty fun. And preferences this is back on the cusp of getting degrees because there are a lot of nuances behind getting degrees, and we are here to educate the masses. So let's hit play.
Recap: cybersecurity bachelor's degree. Not got a job in cybersecurity ever, and CATS Plus certification. Got Pen Test Plus, CISA Plus, security.
So this creator is having a hard time finding a job, even though he has a cybersecurity degree as well as certifications. And he's also saying that he's not seeing cybersecurity degrees as preferred qualifications on job postings. For one, cybersecurity degrees are fairly new, if I'm being honest. They just came out a few years ago. Some schools already had them, but for the most part, they're fairly new. And if I'm being honest, cybersecurity degrees are basically a bunch of business classes with high level technical classes, and it doesn't really even teach you that much. And I also looked at WGU, like course overview for their degree, 34 total classes, with about 20 of them being like, language, math, English, and business classes. with high level technical classes, intro to Linux, intro to cloud, intro to scripting, and stuff like that. So it's like, it's not hard to imagine why people have not necessarily been able to find a job after graduating from WGU, especially if they never had an experience. I feel like WGU is for people that already have the experience in this industry, and then they just want to have a degree because it's just like, oh, I have this degree to my name. However, when you have no degree, you have no degree, you have no experience, and then you try to go to WGU, it makes it a bit hard because WGU is very self-paced. You have like these Slack groups and stuff like that where you communicate with other people, but it's not really meant for people that's looking to make a career transition or don't really have as much, experience as someone that's going there just for the sake of the degree. That's completely different.
All right, so I'm going to pause it right there because it's a longer video. I'll make sure I put my guy Tay's link in the description. Friend of the show, been on the channel before. So it's a lot to unpack here, but some of the stuff he mentioned about WGU is why I don't recommend it for a lot of people because of the way it's structured.
What is
Because
what school is that? WGU?
Western Governors University.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And it's like I said, I always say it's a school, like he said, it's a good, if you get like some type of entry level role and you can go there because it's cheap and pay for it and get a degree, cool. But if you go the traditional route, I don't think it's the best way because, for one, it forces you to get a whole bunch of certifications that you don't need. And the thing about that is that forces you in the same type of thing that we run into while we're doing school, particularly in high school or college. You learn something for a semester, then you forget it. You learn something for a semester, then you forget it. It's the same thing. You learn something for a cert, then you forget it. You learn something for a cert, then you forget it. So when you got all these different certs, they're not even kind of building off each other. In theory, they do, but because you got to go study different things every class, it doesn't. Secondly, I looked at the curriculum too. I was doing a consultation with somebody the other day. Actually asked me about going to WGU, and then we looked at it. I was like, yeah, this is a lot of intro stuff. This isn't particularly classes that's related to a lot of things you may see in the actual company, which can make it hard for you. And it goes back into the discussion of, hey, if you're going to go to school, whether it's a master's or bachelor's, outside of price, look at the curriculum and what you'll get out of it. A school like WGU can be fast tracked. It's for people mostly that already have a job. They can just say, hey, it really for checking the box. But if you're wanting to get more of a better alumni feel, better curriculum, and all that different things that like those bigger colleges offer, then you need to try to go there because that'll help you benefit. I don't know too much up in my hand how WGU's alumni is. Like I know from even my bachelor's, and even though I got a master's from, they have a decent sized alumni, especially in the area, and as well as at Louisiana Tech. And if I see somebody with tech on their thing on LinkedIn, I'm always adding them like, "Oh, I went to tech class of 13, or whatever." I know I feel like an old head, but hey, I'll show y'all guys one day on here. One of the reasons I picked to go to LA Tech is when everybody graduates, they get a brick, and a brick. They have them all the way back from like the 1900s or 1800s, and everybody's name is on the brick with their graduating class. And so I've seen my brick plenty of times. So if I ever go back to Ruston, I will vlog it and show you guys my brick so you guys
That's
could
cool.
see how cool it is.
That's super
Yeah,
cool.
it's a unique thing. Everybody takes pride in having that brick. There's a lot of people that started with me in 2010 that didn't get a brick. So
And it's a when you graduate thing.
yeah, when you
Yeah.
graduate, like they give you this coin, and you throw the coin in the fountain, and then when you graduate, you get another coin, and then of course you get your brick, and you could choose to get a replica brick at your house, and I should have got a replica brick as well. But
What I was gonna say about that, I agree with that. I like how he talked about there was a mix between business classes and technical classes because that's really what it is, especially when you get like to that master's level. Um, the classes are like high level overviews. It's up to you to take what you're learning and, dive a bit deeper into that. And I feel like that's just with our education system. You can't just think that you're going to learn something in school or whatever the teacher's post is or your professor or whatever instructor. You can't just think that because you're going through this in class that that's enough for you to be able to, retain that information. You need to do more practicing, more research, more diving into that content in order to fully immerse yourself in it so that it is something that sticks with you and it doesn't go in one ear and out the other. So I like that call out on it as well. And getting an experience as early as possible is the best thing that you can do, so that you can use that to build upon your next career opportunity of advancement. So definitely keep that in mind. I'm not saying don't go, but if you can, absolutely talk to somebody who's already working in the industry, because they can look at those courses and tell you, like, this is outdated or this is not even, a good bunch of classes that they're putting together. Like, I know my brother, he's switching over to tech. And so I was helping him look at the courses that his school and stuff like that offers based on what I see that's happening in the industry, or, skills that employers are looking after.
Yeah, and while you were talking, you probably can see in the bottom of the thing, I went here so I could show people um, just this. We like to show and tell here. And this is not to tell you to not go to WGU. This is just to show you something. So here's a cybersecurity degree. Okay,
34
so yeah,
courses.
here go the general stuff that you typically take in the
This is a
what else?
bachelor's.
Yeah, this is the bachelor's.
Okay.
And so all this stuff is stuff you really don't need. And now here are the, like you say, like he was telling you, Linux foundations, intro. You got an intro and then a scripting programming foundation class. So like he says, like a lot of foundations. Like, so when you're looking at this curriculum,
It's very broad, and which isn't necessarily bad, because you're being exposed to different stuff. You can determine, I hate this, I don't like this, I do like that, but it's not diving deep enough. I see what he's talking about.
yeah, it's just a lot of stuff. And I think this is overall problem of bachelors. Uh, like, cause you're not going to know how to pen test off one course. You're not going to know enough about risk management off one course or this or this. Like, it's hard because it's trying to show you so many different things,
They
which makes it.
definitely got you all over the all over the place with the classes: forensics, pen
Mm,
testing, incident response, networking, cryptography. Very broad.
yeah, and this is what reminds me of it. Kind of like it really Relic's CIS degree. If I'm being honest, some of this stuff like
Computer
reminds me of my
information
CIS degree
security.
outside of the pen test stuff. I didn't do any pen testing, but this reminds me of that. But here was one of the things I did have a issue with their capstone. It's only a written project.
What is it?
It's only
Click on. They don't even. They don't even tell you no details. I
yeah. So
know
this
for me, for example, when what something that got me excited to apply for my master's program was seeing what the big project was, that you needed to do. So, like, ours was to pretend that you were a CISO and create a, like, security risk analysis. It was a lot. It was a whole bunch of things that we did, but even just understanding what it's asking you for, and as a student being excited, this is not detailed enough. And maybe you have to be a student to know more details, but I feel like for marketing purposes, they need to give more context here about what the project could be, or examples of past projects, just my personal opinion.
no, it's written. Like for example, at least when our capstone in my bachelor's, we actually had to use all the skills we learned to create something.
Yeah,
So we had a project where we created an inventory system for the bowling alley at the intramural. So we actually had a like we programmed it what they did Visual Basic. So you had where you can enter your shoes and information stuff in. We did the database stuff. We used Microsoft Project. We had to present it. We had to do all these different things so we could simulate
a
actually
real
presenting
life.
the project to
Yeah.
somebody if you're on a call or something like that. So it's like in theory, all these different things don't really. If they want to do that, they should have niched these like skills down some more when it came to this course.
Or they should have like some different tracks. I can respect
They
tracks.
do. They do have different tracks. So if I go back real quick and let me zoom out. They got computer science, they got cybersecurity, data, like they have different stuff. So
Which
it's kind
which
of
one
like
was
we
that? The cyber and
this was
information
cybersecurity and
assurance?
information assurance.
It was still just broad.
Like cloud computing, like I'm guaranteeing this information assurance and IT wouldn't have a lot of overlap.
Yep.
But yeah, like I say, guys, I would advise probably doing this. Like, if you want to get the college experience, go to college. If you get a job and you just want to get a degree, do WGU, because at least it's going to give you that degree checkbox. And I'm saying that because I know we've been talking about having a degree or not having a degree. And I can tell you from having clients that having a degree will benefit you because there'll be jobs that have a hard requirement just for a degree that you really could do. And it's like just having it. And I know we see the different TikToks of, hey, more companies are saying no degree, but that don't really benefit you when you look like us. So you're going to have to be 2 times as good and stand out. So,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
all right. Now, let's get into, where is it? I think it's the last one. Here's the last TikTok, guys. See it.
When new hires get paid more, top performers resign first. That's probably not particularly surprising, but let's get into the research. This is from Harvard Business Review. Employees whose pay was increased soon after the addition of a higher paid coworker tended to stay in their jobs a lot longer, whereas those who had to wait for a raise were more likely to quit. Moreover, while normally about 1 in 4 people resigning from their jobs would be high performers, when you add the addition of a higher paid new hire, that number increases to 1 in 3. Okay, so why? One reason is called the sucker effect, which I just love. Basically, that you are reminded that you're a sucker when a new person gets hired that gets paid more, that you are out here at this job working more than you're getting paid, that you are being undervalued. And it can be easy to forget that on the day to day. But when someone new comes in and shifts up the pieces and reminds you about the market and that you can get better jobs elsewhere, that you're being taken advantage of, you're like, oh no, I'm a sucker. I got to dip, which I just love. A new employee that joins the team serves as a reminder that switching jobs is always an option. Do not let them convince you that you must stay at your job. Do not allow them to make you a sucker. When
Yeah, you see that a lot.
You
You see that a
definitely
lot.
do. Like a ton.
Yeah, new people come in, you know they're getting paid. You don't know what they're getting paid, but you know they're getting paid and what you got get paid. You might be close, especially I put like this: if y'all in the same role, they probably getting paid more than you. I just put it like that because if you've been there 3-4 years, you've gotten an incremental 3% raise probably every year. And so let's say you started off at like 125 and the cap for your role is 160. So you may be at, if we do the 4% every year, we're gonna say you went to 130, 135. We're gonna say you probably at maybe $140,000. Now, this new person that comes in, they're getting paid 155 because they negotiated, markets changed, and it's different, and they know less than you.
I really think it has everything to do with market changes, as you just said. Like companies, they had more money in the budget when they just hired that batch of whoever. I feel like it's important to also acknowledge that for sure.
Yeah, I agree. That's why it's good to have a good network. It's good to talk to people about different money plays, stuff like that. Like last night, talking to Aria, we were talking about GRC roles, and she's telling me, "Hey, now I'm a subject matter expert, and this and this. So I've seen as high as like 200,000 by itself. I've seen jobs to pay up to 300,000. It's very important to have some type of progression in your career, and that's like another talk one day I'm going to do. And whether somebody with HR or hiring manager or director, I get on here, definitely want to talk about how it looks when they look through your resume and you've never really progressed and you've kind of always been at the same level. What does that look like? What does that do for you? And how do potential employers view that or what they're getting in an employee? So that's definitely something I want to look at. But if you are a person still at the company, now, granted, I think this thing going to phases. Like right now, I'm still at the ambitious phase of my career, only 32. So I'm still looking to learn and do new things. But by the time you get to, unless you're like a director or C-level in your 50s, that's when you probably start getting to the age where I'm just trying to cruise on the retirement or whatever. So I always see that, like where I work with people that are like, oh, to be my dad and stuff. So they are not doing a lot of job hopping. They're secure. Their kids are grown. They got a set schedule. So I
Yep,
think all these things kind of factor into something. So everybody will eventually get there, get there one day. But if you are being underpaid, leave. Somebody will pay you what you're worth. Leave.
definitely.
And don't take the counter offer from your company. Just go ahead and go. Because they're gonna know that you want to leave. So it's not an if, but it's a win. So I would just go. You can and then just leave on good terms. You can always come back. Sometimes you gotta leave to get paid what you want and come back. That's what I would tell you.
Yep. And a lot of people do that for sure. And when they come back, that that shmun it'd be a lot bigger.
Right. But I think we gotta. What movie you been watching this week? What's on your mind?
Honestly, I haven't really watched much this week. I will say something that I do want to circle back to though is something
Mhm.
like childlike. You know, I'm in the process of wedding planning, so I need to watch something childish, and that's gonna make me like giggle and laugh. So I'm gonna watch Rugrats because it'll give me a good laugh. And I'm gonna watch
Yeah.
Rugrats in Paris. No, not Rugrats in Paris. Rugrats Gone Wild. That's the one I'm gonna watch. When Dale was a baby because it
Should
was
I
just
stay
so
or
cute.
should I go? They got all of them on, I think, Paramount Plus. I had the girls watching it.
Yep.
Um, my girls have become a big fan of Arthur.
Really? Where is it on? It's on TV?
So PBS has an app.
PBS. Is it on YouTube TV? I think it is.
You can just, I mean, if you got a whatever type of TV you got, where you got a Google
Is it
TV
free
or
or is it
Fire, it's free.
okay?
Just type in PBS and download the app. Yeah. In the morning, sometime for school, I want to watch DW or I want to watch Arthur. And so now they watched it enough to where they're singing along to the it's that, I don't know if that's Ziggy. I think that's Ziggy Marley singing that song and not Bob Marley. I think that's his son
Did you
singing the Arthur
see?
song.
Did you used to watch Dragon Tales?
I watched all that.
Yeah.
I watched Dragon
Zoom.
Tales.
Wait. Did you watch Zoom?
Yeah.
Okay, me too. Not a lot of people used to
Yeah.
watch Zoom.
No, because after school, when we would go to like my grandma's house, my grandma at that time their house didn't have cable, so it was Zoom, Dragon Tales. Remember they used to have Ghost Rider on PBS. They used to have, of course, like Cyber Chase. Did you watch
Nope.
Cyber Chase?
No.
Oh man,
Probably
Cyber
like
Chase is cool.
Caillou, Clifford the Big Red Dog. I was real
Caillou,
childish.
Clifford. I used to like what else I used to watch? I watched everything on there. But Between the Lines, The Puzzle Place. Um, yeah, I watched everything on there.
Did you ever watch the one with the black guy with Kuta Kinte? What I don't know his real name.
You
It's an
talking about
actor.
Reading Rainbow?
Yeah, did you ever watch that?
Yeah,
Was it on that channel or is it a different
it's
channel?
on PBS.
I never remember watching that ever, but I came across like some TikToks and it took me down a rabbit hole and I found that out.
Yeah, I think his real name is LeVar Burton.
It
I think it's
is.
yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
something like
Yeah,
that.
I ever watched Reading Rainbow. Reading Rainbow. That's I used to didn't like it all the time, but I definitely watched it. It was a lot of shows back then though. They had Bananas in Pajamas. Yeah. The people who older than me know about Bananas in Pajamas. I want to say they came out like right before or when I was very small, but I wasn't really watching it. Um, I'm trying to see. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that always flow in my mind because I was talking to Eric yesterday. We were just talking about some different stuff about work and stuff like that. And he was telling me something. And oh no, what I was watching? I was watching Remember the Titans. That's my movie right there.
Is
That's my
that with
movie.
radio? No, that's radio. Bye. Never mind.
That's Cuba Gooding Jr.
But it's a football movie though.
Yeah,
Remember the
both
Titans,
of them
yeah.
are.
The
Yeah,
funny
yeah.
thing is I hate football because I can't really figure out I pretend like I'm into it, but I can't really figure out what's going on. But I love football movies. They're so
Yeah,
good.
that's my movie right there. He say what he say?
Was that a
I laughed
racial
about everything.
movie?
Huh?
Was that a racial movie?
Yeah, it's about integration.
Yeah, I seen that.
He say, dang it, I can't think of I think of like all the Denzel quotes on that afterwards, but that was a good movie. That's a good cast with everybody. Oh, he say, what he say? He say, man, I just gave your mama a piggyback ride. She weighs twice as much as I do. He talking about something. See, now you made me mad. See, now I can't take your mama to the prom no more. Now that's a mama joke.
I'm trying to
And
look
when
up.
Sunshine kissed him. Sunshine, sunshine, sunshine. Rolling with the homie.
Man, I'm just looking for a quote from Rugrats because it was a funny part that Tommy said, but they was bad. They was some terrible kids. The granddad was terrible. He was a horrible babysitter. You supposed to be watching the kids. The kids is missing. They don't know where they at. They in the middle of the forest being tormented by monkeys with a newborn baby who won't stop crying. Tommy friends weren't real because they tried to say we don't want to be your friends no more because your brother a crybaby. He was going through it.
Yeah.
Wait, it's not Rugrats Gone Wild. It's whatever one it was whenever they went missing.
So when they grown up.
No, maybe it's just the Rugrats movie. It's just the Rugrats movie. That's the one where they went missing. That's the one I want to watch.
Yeah, with the monkeys.
Yeah, it came out in '98. Rugrat movie quote. I gotta find it.
Let me see what I want to end it with. I think I just ended with that. I think we'll end it with that. You guys, I got some content coming out over the next couple of weeks. Now, will we be able to record? We shall see. I'm gonna have to get my schedule down. We'll figure that out when we cross that bridge. But in the meantime, read our pages of the rule book, or your head will be shaved. That's why we y'all it. But until
What's
next
the
time,
last page of the rule book?
Stay ahead of the game. We out.